Okay, so earlier today, my brake line broke. Right here is the axle. Here's the brake line going over it. I had my wife jump in the car, pump the brakes. It was easy to find the leak right here, pretty easy. You can see this, it's pretty leaked out. So we jumped on YouTube, figured out how to do this. So I gotta take out this section of brake line, and it goes over the pumpkin here. And luckily, there's this little brake manifold right off that side, so I only needed to do this section. At least for now, I don't need to bring it all the way up front. So we're just reaching right in here, taking out this nut, and then we got some new brake line and we'll bend it. Okay, so I'm bending. This is my new brake line. I measured the old one here and here, which is in two pieces. Got a rough length, just added some and cut this from the big roll, so it's easier to work with. And then I'm bending it into shape to match here, following the template. So here I've got, this curve marked, and I get a decent bend just using a socket here in the vise and just gently curving it over with my thumbs, trying to match the old template. The old brake line ran really nicely, so I'm going to do it the exact same way it came out. So let's keep on bending this. Okay, we've kept on bending this. And so far, this is where we're at, and I gotta keep on going all the way through here. But getting all the angles right is a little tricky. But this little thing's working good. Okay, so here's the full bent line. I just cut this end with the pipe cutter, so I gotta clean it up. And then we're going to use the flange kit. And I rented this flare, double flare tool from Advanced Auto. It's just a little thing here. It clamps over. It's got the different size brake lines here, and it clamps over the brake line, holds it in place with these two. Boom. Then you stick. I've already got the 3/16 one in here, but you use the on the back side to figure out the right height. So just like this, you stick it up here, make sure that that's how far out the tubing's sticking. Then you turn around, you stick the nipple in, and you tighten it down for step one. Then you take the nipple out, and you just tighten in the that thing for step two. I don't know if you can see that, but there is the resulting double flare. Make sure I had my nut on first. Now I got a new nut for this side. The nut on the other side is a different size, so I'm going to have to reuse it. I cleaned up the threads a little bit, so we'll slide it on and flare the other side. Okay, so we're under the car. Here's my bent up new brake line with the fittings on it. Got the right wrench on each side, and all I've got to do is attach the one end there, get it through the clip there. There's a clip under here and the other end up back there, both of them tightened up, and this brake line should be fixed. We'll just need to bleed the brakes. It's been detached for a little while and leaking, so I'll probably have to bleed the whole back end, but that'll be good. Okay, so this is supposed to be pretty easy. It's just my sleeve nut up there, and all it's got to do is go in, but I've been working at this for like half an hour and it will not go in. I know it's the right sleeve nut, just trying to get the angle just right to thread it in. The threads are a little bit crusty. It should be easy, but these are the things that make repairs take forever. Okay, here we are. It's in. It's bolted in on both sides. This end was a lot easier to do because it's so accessible. So now it's time to bleed the brakes, which I might wait to do till tomorrow. This is cold. Well, let's top off the brake fluid before I bleed it. And this may be way too much fluid, but whatever. And that's probably good for now. Actually, that might not be too much fluid. Okay, so I waited till the next morning to bleed the brakes, but Here is the line. You can see it a lot better now at night, all put in. And we just reached right up in there, cracked the bleeder, pumped the brake pedal so the fluid came out, and shut it. And you can see a little bit of the fluid came down. So now I'm just taking off the jacks and it should work.